This is the most important collection I have done to date. Breakfast at Tiffany's has a strip that is one of my favorites, the repetition of imagery. You see the most iconic image of Audrey Hepburn repeated, repeated, repeated. When you stand close to these pieces, you're just looking at film strips. But when you walk back and turn around at the right vantage point, they become photorealistic images. I mean, I feel like a kid, I really do. I don't know if I've gone to bed thinking about an idea more than this, ever. I don't know if I was always destined to become an artist. Growing up in Atlanta, I was an athlete, but was secretly always an artist. I played baseball in college. Once that was over, I remember vividly asking, what do I do? What do I do now? When you dedicate yourself to something, and it was exchanging one passion for another. I combined pop culture and Americana. They just felt like they went well together, especially as it relates to the art world and things I'm passionate about. I came up with the idea of using license plates because it was so out of the box. It dawned on me, I need to start collecting these. They're colorful, they're bold, each one's different, but I wanted to elevate it, not just make a bird feeder out of it. The biggest project that I've ever worked on was a piece that I called Realize. It was born out of a relationship with Muhammad Ali, in my mind, one of the most important figures to ever walk the planet. I proposed something that had never been done before, this 40-foot sculpture made out of 1,300 boxing bags suspended with stainless steel cable. And I asked people to walk around it so they didn't know who or what this was. Once they got to an exact spot, it was like opening a present. This new project, I feel like I've been in the car going cross-country for 30 years to get here. I've been looking for a way to return to the icons, but I knew this time it needed to be different. It needed to start with authenticity, and I also wanted to be new. That's something that really drives a lot of what I do. Hasn't been done before. Can I invent something? I've always been a huge classic movie fan. The idea of creating portraits of classic movie stars came from collecting and inventing. I went on a journey about 7 years ago, procuring from different places at auction, private collectors, vintage 16 millimeter and 35 millimeter films that actually had a life at one point, but were wasting away. The collection's made up of actual film strips that were pulled apart, studied, and then tiny little cuts and undulations to make all the details. The most important question is where these films come from. Are they original films? Am I destroying film? And I thought about that before I cut up a single piece. There was a lot of work going into making sure I was finding films that couldn't be shown again or wouldn't be shown again. They have come from film libraries, they've come from museums, a lot have come from personal collectors. They were partial films, most of them damaged, spliced incorrectly, not usable. I'm a huge believer in second chances, and this was a personification of seeing these in a new life. They served one purpose, and now they're another purpose seen as visual art. The portraits really are made up by this high contrast of dark and light and dark and light and dark and light. The process is so unique, I was learning myself. When you're inventing something, it's never been done before, so there's no roadmap. A lot of times I'm being dictated to by what I'm able to get. So where does this start? It starts with the star. And then it becomes, what are the most iconic, intriguing images of those? The settling on the photo is a huge part of the process. There are thousands of images to pore over. I'm doing one piece of James Dean. It becomes that much more important to find the right photo.
You know something?
No, what?
You read too many comic books.
I've been a James Dean fan since I was 10.
I love you too.
I've done versions of James Dean, but I refused to do another version until I found a truly unique way to do it. But it's not like you just pick up the phone and call and I'm able to buy Rebel without a cause, especially with how I wanted to use them, with finding incomplete film, damaged film. Finding a film reel with usable pieces of Rebel Without a Cause was one of the top creative moments of my life.
How do I look?
Audrey Hepburn is probably my favorite actor of all time and the easiest to work with in terms of creating a rendition of her. So much so that I did two, Love in the Afternoon, and of course Breakfast at Tiffany's. I was lucky enough to be able to find both of these films.
Don't you just love it?
When someone's standing in front of these pieces, I hope they're discovering a movie and an icon in a completely unique way. I love the idea of how is this done? I didn't realize this could work. Hopefully there's a bit of a like a wow factor. I really believe, especially in today's era where everything's available and retail and galleries and everything's changing, that we need to create experiences for people. I feel like I've been passed a baton. There are a lot of great artists who created these iconic classic films, and now I've created the opportunity to do something unique with them. It feels very collaborative, and I feel like in 35 years of creating art, it's better than anything else I've done.